Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving.
Hello and welcome to my video. So if you are new here, my name is Jennifer and I make videos on motherhood, lifestyle, and a ton of vlogs all about me and my family here living in Las Vegas. And today's video is actually going to be kind of a video I've wanted to film for a while, and it's my tips and thoughts on taking little ones, specifically babies and toddlers under the age of 2, to Disneyland and or Disney World. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy about this because a lot of people say they're too young, they're never gonna remember it, why spend all that money and time, effort, all those things. And I get it, I totally get it. I just don't agree with it. So I guess my number one reason is that for me, I am a Disney loving adult, right? I have loved Disney my whole life, and I always had this vision of just enjoying Disney with my family. So first that started off with my husband Bernard, and we went to some sort of Disney place every year for almost as long as we've been together. Maybe not in the beginning years of our relationship, but still. And you know, he's really grown to love it and appreciate it, which I'm grateful for. And you know, we're continuing that tradition now with our daughter Ailey, who is 21 months, so she's almost 2 years old. And within that time span, she has been to Disneyland twice and she has been to Disney World once. So here are kind of just my general thoughts, and then I will go into about 10 tips that I have put together that hopefully will help you should you decide that you're taking your little one to Disney, or you know, you still want to take them, but you need a little bit more information and kind of just help to make that final decision. Okay, so yes, so besides the fact that I think that making those memories are so beautiful, and they're really just core memories of you taking your little babe to Disneyland or Disney World. It's irreplaceable. But that's a personal opinion, so I know not everyone's gonna agree with it, and that's fine. Also, it's kind of nice to go with a little one because it definitely helps you slow down. Now, if you are okay with not going on every thrill ride, not, you know, like jumping around from ride to ride to ride and park to park and all that stuff, it really helps you slow down and appreciate some things that you probably never would have done before. And, you know, for example, whenever Bernard and I used to go to Disney World, we would never ride Dumbo, you know, like those like small rides, kid rides. And, you know, now it's one of the priorities, Dumbo, Winnie the Pooh, all this, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of nice to have a slower day at the park. So the bonus of taking a child, a baby or toddler to Disney is that they get in for free until they are 3 years old. So that's kind of nice, a nice little bonus that you get to go, you don't have to pay for them, and you still get to make all these memories. They're just, you don't have to pay for them yet. So that's kind of nice. Anyway, so that's just like my general thoughts. And again, it's not easy taking little ones to Disney because you have to consider all the factors. Do they nap? When are they gonna eat? Do you have time to sit them down to get them, you know, some playtime? Do they need a nap that in, you know, optimal conditions? You have to worry about what time of year you're going. You have to worry about crowd levels, all those things. It's a lot to take into account. So all that said, I'm still a huge proponent of taking your little ones to Disney, but again, that's just me. All right, so now let's just kind of get into I probably have a ton more, but these are about like 10 tips that I think have really helped me personally on my trips to Disneyland and Disney World with my baby toddler. So the first thing is you're going to need a baby carrier. Now, I know especially in Orlando for Disney World, it can get hot and that baby carrier can, you know, having a baby physically on you, it's tough. But you need a carrier, especially if you're going to wait in the lines for rides and things like that. You're gonna want something to hold the baby so you have your arms free, you can, you know, be a little bit more comfortable. It's just, you're gonna need one. So with that being said, make sure you are comfortable with your baby carrier and you know how to properly use it and you haven't worn it in similar conditions before. Because if you live somewhere where there's zero humidity and then all of a sudden you wear this like huge heavy baby carrier, like we had for our baby carrier, we used the Ergo Baby Omni 360, and even though it was like the mesh version, it still got hot. Like, let's be serious, it's pretty bulky. So even, you know, if you're not used to wearing it in Florida weather, you might want to somehow test it out or even wear it for a prolonged period of time. So that's the first thing. And as another kind of add point to that, my recommendation for toddlers, so like older babies and toddlers, is to use the Tush baby carrier. Now, this one, I'll stick a couple pictures up, but this is a lifesaver, especially for like a baby toddler who's walking and they want to get up and down, up and down, up and down. The regular baby carrier, it's going to be a nightmare. So my thoughts on the Tush baby will definitely come at a later video because I still have yet to film that, but yes, I would highly recommend it. That's just my general standpoint. Number 2. Now this, I can only speak to Disneyland because I did not use this at Disney World because it wasn't in effect yet, but Genie Plus, specifically Disneyland, worth it. The reason why I say it's worth it is because for Disneyland, they include the photo pass, and that's so nice to have, you know, making these like cute like pictures and kind of like professional photos and having them taken. It's so nice to have, and that's included in Genie Plus at Disneyland. And again, the less time you have to wait in line with a small child, the better. I mean, even any kid, it's, you know, lines are going to be, whew, but if you can use Genie Plus optimally and effectively, it'll be a lifesaver. It was so good for us. And the nice part is that a lot of the rides also, and added to it, it have rider switch. Now, Genie Plus and rider switch, so nice, because literally you just use the lightning lane and then you know, scan in all of your tickets and then you switch off the adult. And it's just, I would just recommend it. I know it's an added cost, but it is worth it. Now at Disney World, I can't speak to that yet because I have not used Genie Plus at Disney World, but I'm sure in at least Magic Kingdom, I would think that it's definitely worth it, right? I don't know. Anyway, so number 3. Now this might also seem this might seem a little bit obvious, but bring your own stroller. Do not depend on the strollers that Disney gives you because they're just not comfortable. Maybe if you have older kids, maybe if they're like, you know, closer to like 5, maybe that's fine, just so that they have a place to like sit and rest. But if you have babies and toddlers, you're gonna want your own stroller that you are used to, and make sure that you have all of the extra storage, hooks, attachments, anything that you need. Have it set up and test it before you go. Make sure that it works. Make sure you know how to easily break it down if you need to. Don't, you know, leave it to the last minute and be fumbling with things and just like giving yourself the added stress and headache. Just don't do it. All right. Number 4, bring a cooler bag. Cooler bag with your own water and snacks. I know it's a lot. I know it's like an added thing you have to take and go through security, but it's worth it. Water in the parks are so expensive and snacks are super expensive. Like, you don't want to pay $5 for a banana when you could have brought one and not gone through that. Trust me. I know it seems like, oh, I don't want to bring extra bags, extra this, that, whatever. You're really gonna want it, and you're gonna be grateful that you did it. And honestly, I go back and forth on this. We have gone the route of taking water bottles, like plastic water bottles, because we like to get rid of weight as the day goes on. So that way, if we bring a big cooler bag, it's filled with our ice packs and water bottles. We don't have to, we know that by the end of the day, that has become so much less, and it's one less thing to actually carry. You can kind of just pack it away. So, but then it's also nice to have, like, if you have like a Yeti or a Hydro Flask or something that will keep your water like cool on its own. So there's pros and cons to everything, but that's just what we do. So yes. Next, number 5, extra clothes. And I'm not talking about just for baby. This applies to adults too, but you're gonna need extra clothes, whether it's from food stains, from sweating, water, anything. Just make sure you have extra clothes. All right. Now, number 6 is a little bit controversial for sure, because not everyone believes in this, but bring the iPad. Bring the iPad with downloaded things, especially if you know it's a busy day in the park, because having this will save you on the lines. Now, again, if you don't do screen time, forget this tip. Who cares? You will manage. Obviously, if you don't do it, the screen time in general, you don't need it at Disney, okay? And honestly, most of the time you don't need it at Disney, but the lines can be such a killer. So it works for us. And, I just wanted to share that. We have our iPad that we download a bunch of things, and we also use it while we're eating. So that way, if we're sitting down someplace, the adults can actually sit down and eat without having to worry about entertaining the little one. And, especially at Disney, everyone needs a break. Everyone needs some sort of break in the day to relax and just chill out and get, rev up that energy again to keep going. So, again, controversial, but do whatever works for you. That's just what I think. All right, number 7. So you're going to want to make sure you bring a basic kit of first aid essentials. And I'm talking about like baby Tylenol, some sort of Neosporin, bandages, little like alcohol wipes, just in case. And ideally you won't need this, but it's always good to have. And on top of that, especially if maybe they're a little bit younger and you're still like experimenting with foods, maybe some children's Benadryl, just in case. You never know. But it's not, I would say, again, I know it's an added thing, but it's really good to have, especially because when you're in the parks, you're moving around, you want to just be prepared for anything, especially with little ones. So that's just what I'd say. Now, as number 8 is kind of like goes hand in hand with that, is know the important points in the park. Now, that means know where the baby care centers are, know where first aid is, know, just like those things where in general, like if you were going by yourself, you wouldn't think about, and you're like, oh, I can just quickly look it up. It's nice to know beforehand. That way, if you are in, one of the lands, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like I need to, do this or whatever, or you're passing by somewhere like, oh, like let me just stop at the baby care center because I know it's on the way. It's nice. The baby care center is great because if you nurse, you can have a private and air-conditioned area to nurse. You want to change their diaper, you have a nice area to change your diaper. You just need them to like chill out for a little bit. They have areas like that. It's important. And first aid, also super important, especially with little ones. Again, like as an adult, you're like, I can figure it out if I need to, but it's really nice to know beforehand. So that is just my suggestion. And for me personally, it has been really important. So, all right. Number 9, make a list of things to do and prioritize them, or list them in priority. Because realistically, you're probably not going to get to do everything. If you can do everything, that's great. That's the added bonus. But it's nice to go in with lower expectations, knowing that you're not going to get everything done, but prioritizing the things that you definitely want to do. So that way you can do them first, or you can do them while baby is or is not napping, depending on what that priority is. So if your priority is to ride a bunch of the thrill rides, try to schedule it when baby is napping. So that way it's an easier, ride or switch situation. Just you know, going in with that mindset, really, really helpful. Okay. So, number 10 is kind of, again, might seem obvious, I don't know, but bring all of the fans, cooling towels, sunshade, umbrella, hats, whatever, anything you can to keep your baby cool. Now, on top of that, and on top of like the cool factor, you're gonna wanna bring a portable sound machine if your baby needs it. So, you know, not every kid needs a sound machine to nap. Some of them can just nap like on the go, no problem. But if your baby or toddler needs it, bring it. Try to create the most similar situation that you can. Obviously, it's not gonna be exactly the same, but as close to it as you can to create an optimal napping situation, because you're gonna want them to nap. Again, don't, you know, hold on to like the expectation that they're going to do exactly the same, because they're probably not. But if you can do whatever it is within your power to recreate an optimal sleeping situation, I would recommend it. And yes, and all the fans and cooling stuff, like that'll just help keep baby happy, comfortable, chill, you know, make your whole experience easier. Okay, so those are kind of my 10 tips, and not in any particular order. It was just kind of as they came out of my head. But there's a ton more of things that I could probably share, but then I would just go on and be rambling. So maybe another time, especially, you know, maybe after our next Disney trip, which is not planned yet, but, you know, in discussion. So, and Ailey will be over 2 years old at that time, so it'll be a little bit different for sure. Every time that we've gone, it's been different. But those are just kind of a few things that I think is important. I think they're important to know and to let you guys know, so that if you have any thoughts, any questions, you know, you have some sort of resource, because it's nice to have, and it's nice to kind of get that experience from other people. So that kind of just wraps it up for now. So if you have any additional questions or comments, or just, you know, need me to answer anything else or any questions you may have, please feel free to leave a comment, you know, and let me know, so that we can talk Disney, we can talk babies, toddlers, whatever. But yes, so that is going to be it for this video, and I really look forward to hopefully making another one, because I would love to go back to Disneyland or Disney World sometime very soon. Thanks always for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here?